Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia. If you're new here, welcome. So today's video is kind of a two-part video. The first part, I'm going to be doing my wrap that I promised in yesterday's video with these two beauties. Then I'm going to change it up because I'm having way too much fun with the eyeshadow palettes. I will pull them out. Oh my goodness, these two palettes I just can't get enough of. Let's see, did I leave the one out? No, I did not. I am just having way too much fun today. I don't know. Anywho, I had pulled out a different palette and I was going to do peaches and creams and stuff, and I was like, not feeling it. So this one is one of the new palettes. It's the Nubian Glow palette from Juvia's Place. All these yellows and oranges and oh gosh, the golds. Amazing. So I was feeling that and the berries palette today. So yay. I just, my goodness, I just couldn't resist it. So I'm going to be changing for the day to wear these two. Something way different. I think it would totally go with my makeup more. So I will be doing the wrap that I promised, and then I will put on what I'm going to wear the rest of the day. And then for the second half of the video, I want to talk about just a little bit about a question that was asked about scarves and pairings and that kind of thing. So please bear with me. This will be a little bit of a longer video today. I do them occasionally. Who am I kidding? My videos tend to be a lot longer than most, but please bear with me for this video. All right, I'm going to put my notebook aside because I took notes. That's scary, right? She took notes. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a really long one. I tend to do that a lot, write down things, because for some reason, especially yesterday, oh my goodness, I don't know what was going on with my brain, but I think this premenopausal brain of mine, and no, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm 41 and my body's starting to change and do weird stuff, and my brain for some reason is so foggy. And I forget mid-conversation what I'm talking about, and I don't understand what's going on. So I don't know. It is what it is. But okay, Micah must have escaped. I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the wrapping and try not to forget where I'm going with this. Now, for this wrap, I'm going to do the side swept bangs look with the peach, and then I'm going to do a really fun cap style with this. Now I'm going to I think I might do two different styles of cap, and you'll see what I mean by cap as we go along. Okay, but I become completely obsessed with this whole idea of side swept bangs. Let's see, get this layered on like so. Let's see if it's correct. I'm not going to tie the knot, but I'm going to take these two. I'm going to cross this side over the top. And then I have this nice ponytail. Okay, now this slid forward. I'm going to shift it backward just a little bit. Okay, now when I wrap this one around, that's weird. Got a little distortion here. It's really weird. Okay, well I have to work on that. Okay, now I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to hide that away. All right. Okay, so since I was playing with that too long, I am going to do this again. Gather, gather. Under. Okay. And I don't know why that's there, but I'm going to try and not think about it while I do this. I could probably fix it and so that those aren't there anymore. Okay. So we're gonna get this up and back around. And there's some crazy sunshine going on. I'm just tucking this up in the pocket. Now, this kind of looks ugly, but I'm just pulling it around here. I didn't want to have to do a knot. I may actually have to do a knot. Yeah, I'm not pleased with this. All right. All right, let me adjust. Oh my goodness, please excuse me for 1 second. All right. All right, I think that's better. Adjust the shade just a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I didn't want to do a knot, but I guess I'm going to. I'm tying the knot so that the long one comes out, with the long one to come out on the bottom this time. So I'm crossing. Oops. Okay. Have this one come out on top. It won't matter. I typically like this one on the bottom because I like it laying close to my neck. But having it on the top, having this one on the bottom will make for a neater side on this, a neater side over here. Now, I'm going to slow down because I think that's one of my issues today. I'm going too fast. All right. Okay. I'm kind of wondering if my little dude got his claws stuck in this. I had it laying out last night. I'm wondering if he was running around. He got the zoomies really late last night, and I'm wondering if he didn't get himself all worked up and get himself caught up in it. Okay. Now, there we go. And that crazy sunshine. This might work better. Okay. So, I've got my peach side swept. Not peach, shiny-licious side swept bangs. This doesn't come forward and crinkle like the original 2-in-1 or even like the Tough 2-in-1. I can get a little bit of crinkles on that one. This one just doesn't do that. It will give you these big ones, these big types of wrinkles, but not the little teeny tiny like hair ones. So this is the best I'm going to do with this. Now I did have in front of me, I put it out yesterday. Oh my goodness, what did I do? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. Now, I did have this guy here. We all know that his going to be upside down because I don't know why, and I don't know why manufacturers do this. They make these pins. They sell them in pairs that you can only put on the one side correctly. It makes no sense to me. If you're going to have a pair of hair clips and one is for the right and one is for one is for the left and one is for the right, they should be appropriately designed. It drives me crazy. But I'm just going to put it upside down. It's supposed to be a heart, but we're working with it. All right, I'm going to put it right here and hope I do not. This is a really old one. And in olden times, they did not put the little tips, the dipped caps on them. These are just, they're blunt edged and they are sharp. But in olden times, they didn't do that unless you had them on hairpins, regular, just plain hairpins. These guys were just left to be raw edged. And that could be quite uncomfortable when trying to put this on. Ow. But I will get it. Okay. I think one of the problems is I was catching my shaper in there too. Not exactly what I was going for. Don't want to put any more holes in my shaper. In my scarf here. So this is one of those things. Yes, this is one of those crazy things that happens a lot. Didn't practice this either. I thought I'd have enough practice. Okay. That's good, because I did this look several times last week with the hair, the side part. Okay, so that's what we're going for right there. That's it. Okay, now I'm going to do caps because I think it'd be fun just to play with this. This is the Harmony. It's huge. It's absolutely huge, stunning. But I thought it would be fun to have the look of the hair with, with the cap kind of going on. Now what I thought I would do is start off with something simple. Drape it over the back. We're gonna figure out which way I want this first. Thinking I want it this way. Okay. So we can go like this, and I can hit that button because that's my silly phone. Okay, so what I'm thinking of having just a I'm not tying a knot in the back. Okay, so just give this a knot like so, and then I'm just going to tuck those tails away, and then I'm going to bring okay, I know what I'm doing now. All right, so I'm taking the short end, bringing it up. The long end I want to go in front. I'm going to bring it around the short end. Now this is nicely off center, like so. I'm not pulling that super duper tight. I'm going to leave it as loose as possible. I'm going to tuck that guy underneath because I don't want to see any of the little jagged pieces. I'm going to open this up and figure out which side I like. I'm going to bring it back over just like so. And I'm just going to tuck these guys in here. So it's almost like a fan wrap, but not quite. So this will be the first fun cap. So I've got my hair and my cap. I could probably even lose this little doodah after all that hardship of putting it in. Okay. So all the hardship of putting it in, I'm finding that I don't really even like it. Okay, so it's cute. I like it. I like it. All right. So I'm leaving the hair on, and I'm going to spin around to show you. Just like this. Now, if this is a mess back here, I'm just going to tuck it in just to make sure it's nice and neat. Like that. But this is kind of fun. I could totally put in a really great brooch, you know, right there. Let's see. You could put, since this is rather interesting, like this, the way this is put together, this is possibility. If I can find the pocket back here. Maybe? Ah, yes. Pocket. Pocket found. Okay. So like so. And have this more up like that. That's kind of interesting. Ooh, I can spread this out some more. Still making sure that all of these little pieces are tucked in, either back here, or I can pull them this way. Arms. Probably tuck them in up front, like so. So that this sits up like a cute cap. I'm not hating that. Okay. Now, another thing I was thinking that might be fun. Even Steven-ish. Okay, even Steven. Trying not to catch the ponytail. I just cross them over. Bring them up. And have them do a little twist. Just like so. I thought they were more even when I put them on. Okay, so just like this. And this could stand up like this fun cap. This kind of a cap. Okay. And I think the last one, I'm going to bring this up and over. And if I have a pin, I'll do this one. I was putting things away. I totally cleaned up my my room here. We call it the peacock room, or the YouTube room, or the scarf room. So it's I did a good cleanup. Talked a little bit about it last night, but I put things away, and when I put things away, sometimes I can't find out. Sometimes I cannot figure out what I did with them. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to bring this up. And okay, And I'm going to do it the opposite direction. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is stick a pin here just to hold it down. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do this. Run another pin in here really quick. It doesn't have to be super pinned. I can, not in this step. I can figure that out in a moment. I don't like the placement. It's not what I was going for. Okay. All right. So what I had thought about, and I'm not thinking that this is going to work today, and it's going to go on the list of things to practice and put on here, is I was trying for a two loop kind of bow here. I'll stab a pin in here, and maybe this will work. Who knows? Stab a pin back here. Okay, so I was thinking about this kind of two loops with the fringe, and the same thing here, just to kind of be extra. Not have them like the normal bows that you would see, where they would be with the small section in the middle and facing opposite directions. So I thought this would be totally different. And got it this far. Okay, now this one's going to be harder because, of course, it's on the side, so it wants to fall down. All right. Then I'm definitely going to have to practice this one to make sure that I'm getting it correct. Okay, so I have that one, and then I want to do another one. Like so. So it's almost like a frill. It's extra, it's weird, it's fun. Grab one more pin, and then I think this is close to what I wanted to do. It's going to do for now, but with this, with the frill facing one another instead of this and this being towards one another. Thought it would be just something, I don't know, unexpected, different. So that's what it kind of looks like from the side. Again, I am going to be practicing this one. This one is a work in progress, we'll call it. All right, now once I get this off, just threw that one on the floor. I got a little too aggressive with the pin. Okay, so I do like this harmony. Okay, I really do. Ow, ow, owie, that hurted. At least I'm not bleeding. Okay, I've done that lots and lots of times. Stabbing me. Okay, you go down there until I put you away. And then you go to get fixed. Because because you totally can be fixed. I think that might be a video. Yeah, I think Micah got himself stuck in this, and I got those nice holes in it. Oh my, the joys of kittens. All right, I will make a video of how to fix that. All right, now because I've got this fantastically sunsetty, phoenixy look going on for me, I'm going to be using this beautiful berry colors. I know that's probably not the color it's called, but it came in the kit with the flowery scarf. And it's so berry-licious. That's what I'm calling it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing I did because I'm not creative, except I'm using the yellow. I'm not going to do a cap. I'm just going to do a regal. I think I'm going to do hair with this one and regal with the other one. And we're gonna, that's not so bad. Okay. I'm going to put the tie the knot. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, I got it now. Okay. Thought I had it. There we go. All right. Every time I say that, I say, all right. I think of Matthew McConaughey with his all right, all right, all right. And I don't know why. It's weird. So I'm going to try not to say that again so I don't giggle. I don't know if y'all can see that in my face when I'm giggling in my head. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I fold it into thirds. I'm bringing this up into the back. Okay, now I'm already liking this better with this makeup. This scarf is almost one of the shades of eyeshadow in the Berries palette. It's amazing. Okay, we're going with that. All right. Oh my god, I did it again! Okay, so here's our yellow. I would use an orange one. This is saffron, by the way. I would use an orange one. I could totally do that, but I don't have it. I haven't purchased that one yet. Okay, now I think I'm just going to do a quick regal with this guy, or what my type of regal. Because too many tails, Micah will go ballistic. He will like go into his crazy cat mode and start eating them. Okay, so we're gonna try this differently. I normally put the front scarf on first, and then the back scarf. Apparently, we're supposed to put on the back scarf and then the front scarf. So let's see. Okay, that's all up in there. These take a little bit, and I am sorry, the sun is on this, and I look all Gryffindor. Oh, wow. All right, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Slytherin. This is like, oh no, I definitely look all Gryffindor-y here. Oh well. All right. This is what I'm wearing today because I think it's cool. Okay. Now I'm going to, hi Micah, bring this one up in the front. And I'm going to tuck it in the front here where I can. And the sunshine is making this one glow. There you are. So I'm just going to stuff that in. Just like so. Okay. I'm not thinking that makes too big of a difference here, honestly. Not for me anyway. But maybe I'm doing it wrong. That's definitely a possibility. Okay. So we've got this going on, and I'm spinning around. Probably gonna find some nifty little earrings to wear with this, and then get on with the part 2 of this. Okay, where'd all the earrings go? They're not in here. I mean, I do have blood drop earrings, but I don't want to wear the blood drops. I picked those up for Game of Thrones inspired wraps. So totally not going there with that. Okay. Those won't go. All right, one more minute, and I promise to get on with it. Just looking for a pair of earrings. All right, not those. Oh my goodness. I don't appear to have anything suitable over there. Okay. Apparently, I'm missing some earrings. They must be in the other room. Ooh, okay. Thank you, Aunt Susie. These are awesome. I don't know if Aunt Susie actually watches my videos, but these were Aunt Susie's earrings. not the video that I did a while back with actually these ones, because these were Aunt Susie's too. These earrings. I built a whole wrap around Aunt Susie's earrings, and that's what it's called. But these were also earrings that belonged to Aunt Susie. So, ooh, I like these. Okay, we're going there. All right, now that I'm all Gryffindor-rific, Gryffindor-tastic. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Okay, it's like Gryffindor with Hunger Games. Harry Potter meets the Hunger Games. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about, this is part 2. I'm having too much fun. I'm going to talk about a question that was sent my way by a beautiful wrap sister, asking about combining different scarves. Now, you gave me, I'm going to speak right to her for a second. You gave me a list of all the scarves you have. And these are great scarves. They're completely combinable. I don't happen to have them in the same colors, but I'm going to do my best to tell you how I would combine some of them, because again, they're all combinable, and it's really cool. Now, when it comes to, oh my goodness, stay up here. My notebook is not wanting to stay. I don't need it in my lap. Okay. I have, this is the Sage New York Brights. Now, this one, if I were combining the New York Brights, I would definitely go like with the kit that's available, one of the kits that's been available on the Rapunzel site. I would definitely combine this with Petal Softs. I would do, oh my gosh, so many different varieties of wrap. Could do a 2-scarf beginner's luck. You can do a 2-scarf regal wrap. Now, I know you want to try different ones, and there are lots of different wraps, but I'm trying to remember way back in the day when I started wrapping. It's been a few years, and it feels like forever. But to get fancy, I would just take 2 scarves and throw them into the beginner's luck. And I think with your green New York Brights, I'm getting my words. Oh, sorry. The green New York Brights would totally go with the tan Petal Soft and make for a beautiful double regal or a double scarf beginner's luck. I think that would be really cool. What I have as far as Petal Soft is I have this chocolatey, milk chocolate color Petal Soft. Let me see if I have my head. I have my head, but let me see if I have my head. All right, got my head. And I'm going to sit it on something so that I can show you. We're going to rearrange. I've got little containers to hold everything all over my table. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this here and move that. Crazy fun, crazy fun. Okay, so I've got my head here. Maybe. A couple more. Okay, so I've got my head. Now, she doesn't have a shaper on, but she will, if I can find it, have a headband. Okay. All right, I'm going to place this on her head. All right, so we have the headband on, and then I'm going to start out with this. Okay. I know it would be so much easier to wrap my own head, but I really, really like the way this looks, and I don't want to have to take a chance on it not going back on the way I like it. All right, now I'm going to put this on her head even Steven. And I'm going to crisscross it in the back, just like so. All right. And then I'm going to grab the Sage New York Brights, place it on her head, like so. And I'm bringing it underneath the tails. And I will pick her up and show you the back, because once we get it to this point with, you have her sideways, and this is the back. Okay. We can do lots of different variations to make this all fancy schmancy. But I like the idea of the combining these two scarves. Rapunzel totally knows what they're doing when they put these two together in a kit. All right. For the first thing, I can just bring this up and around. Do this way on her head. This up and around. And we can tuck it in right back here. Okay. Now, had I had a shaper on hand, this would look really awesome. But sadly, I didn't. Okay. I'm going to take the New York Brights on this side, and I'm wrapping it thirds. I'm wrapping it up and over. This one is a bit of a shorter scarf, and this should give you an idea of colors. I'm being very messy with the wrap, and I'm sorry, because this is really hard to wrap on a mannequin's head. But then I'm going to take this same scarf on this side, the chocolate scarf on this side. I'm going to bring it up and around. And I'm just tucking it where I can at this point. So you can see that these two will be lovely together. Okay. The New York Bright. And this looks horrible. This looks horrible. Girlfriend, you need some hair. You need a shaper. But this is, the idea is to get the, get all the words out, to get the look, the two scarf variation of a regal, the idea of it. Now what I'm going to do, she definitely needs to have a shaper of some sort, but that's behind me. Need to get it out of the cabinet. All right. Now, what I was thinking when I say variation, hi, my Micah. We can do a twist, just doing a standard twist. Bring this up and over. Give that a good twist. All right, so we're tucking that, and then we're going to bring this down around the back and just tuck it away. Okay, and then do the twist, the same twist, do the twist. All right, do the twist on this side, just like this, just very loosely, and then bring it up around the front, like so. This is another fun look with these two scarves. Now, taking into consideration that I'm wrapping on a head and with not the perfect combination of scarves, this is just what I have that would look halfway decent with this. The other one I had was bright, vibrant red and wine, or is it dark red? It's dark red. I don't think those would look good with this. So, but these two combined, and there's so many different looks you can do with these two scarves together, but I'm going to move on. But definitely these guys together. Now, I'm one who loves shimmer shine, as you can see. This guy, this New York Brights, totally with the shimmery. I like it. Now I can probably find in here this particular color. I can. So there's a stripe of this color right there. So having these together in this kind of a wrap, in a Lazy April, double Lazy April, I'm going to try to remember to post links to some tutorials below that are definite awesomeness. I made up a beginner's wrap folder of videos, so I can put a link to the folder on my channel that I made a huge list of beginner style wraps for those to try. I think I might be getting off topic a little bit, so I'm going to look at my notes again. Now, I do not have an infinite cosmos. Just going by the photograph, I'm sure that could combine with a lot of different, like the royal blue, petal soft, in lots of different styles. Any of the beginner styles, again, with the two scarves. Again, I've got it written down here. It's like other one scarf wraps. I was trying to recommend other one scarf wraps. I'm going to have that link in the description box for that. Pashminas can be the bane of our existence, but they're so beautiful. Sometimes they can really act up and not want to wrap. I know my first pashmina was a little, it wasn't a Rapunzel pashmina. It was one that was gifted to me we did Secret Santa at work, and one of the lovely young men drew my name. He was probably 16. He was so cute. And he had no idea what to get me, so he asked his mommy. And his mommy suggested a scarf. And it was red and black, and it was really stiff. It's no longer stiff because of all the wrapping I did with it, and also the gentle laundering of it. It really softened it up, and it's a delight to work with now. But they can be a little daunting, especially at first, to wrap with. I have the Dewdrop Sparkle in my hand, which Dewdrop Sparkle is almost heavy enough to be a pashmina. It's all shimmery, shiny. Totally. You have the Dewdrop Sparkle in the black. I have that one, and I'm going, yes, please, with combining this. Amazing. So much potential, but this definitely, again, in the 2 scarf Lazy April, you can do it in the fan. You can do a double fan wrap. You can do the regal wrap with the 2 scarves. The angled regal wrap would look freaking, so sorry. I gotta get it. That would look really, really great. Let's see. What's the other one? It's like a waterfall wrap. That's really pretty. That one, you can do it with 2 scarves. Definitely can do it with the 2 scarves. It'll just look slightly different, but you could do it with 3 scarves. Oh my goodness. But the potential here is insane with so many of these scarves going together, and coordinating. I wish I had more of them because of the ones that you have, because then I would be able to just pull out scarves and start showing you how I would put them together, But what I have, I'm sorry if this isn't as helpful as it could be. Put that one over there. All right, but I can see. I do not think I have. No, I don't have it out. I don't have one out. But we'll just keep it simple. I'll wrap one more for you with this to show you how this one would look. Just do a 2 scarf beginner's luck. And we'll do it in an angle. So I can show you that one. Okay, so I'm going to putting this on. I'm going to cheat it back. Don't worry. That's right, I fold it to fit. I folded it to fit my big head with the shaper on, and I needed to fold it a little bit more for smaller head lady here with no shaper on. So it's in an angle. We're going to tie this knot. Okay, so we've got the knot tied. And this one is just going to go over here. Sorry, my nose is itching me. And then I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to tie it on at the opposite angle because I think that's so much fun. Okay. Now everyone is different when it comes to tail length, and give it on a different days. I like a longer tail or a shorter tail depending on the chores that I'm doing. So I'm going to put it on at this angle. I'm going to bring it underneath of this tail, bringing it around underneath of this tail. All right, I'm going to give it a quick knot back here. Okay, beautiful. All right, now she's going to fall off. You can see I've made a hot mess. I'm just going to cheat this one back a little bit to show off the black. And you get your angle this way. Now I'm going to take our friend the black and I'm going to fold it, and it's going to go up and over like so. And then I'm going to grab this guy. This tail is too long. I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to beginner's luck him. Like so. All right, I have met my kryptonite. I can't wrap the mannequin's head when it's not on a body. I just can't do it. But if this is giving you any idea of what the combination would look like, then it's not an exercise in futility. So, I mean, but it's a fantastic combination. It is so cool. Going to try and get something going on here. Just try doing it slightly different. Okay. With even Steven ends then. Let's see how this works. Please ignore the huge noise outside. I think somebody's having their car towed. Okay, like this. All right, now folding this guy. I'm gonna do this again. All right. Oh my goodness, come on now. You can do this. Okay. It's surprising how strange and how hard it is to wrap off a body than it is to wrap on my own head. Or even on a friend's head. Okay, so we have the angle going on. You can see that nice crisscross. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this guy up and over and do the beginner's luck knot, and maybe this time it will work. Okay. The zigzag. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one to tie the knot here. And typically I tie up or tuck up and around like so. This is a lot to tuck in on our friend's little miniature noggin. So we're going to pretend. All right. There we go. So you have that first. And then I'm going to go and do the other one of these. mess something up? No, I did not. Okay. Confused myself for 1 second. Sorry. All right. We're going to fold this guy here. The scarf that was put, the tail that was supposed to be on this side, the black tail, ended up back on the other side. Okay. And the second beginner's luck. Not. I'm going to give myself a note for giving myself a note for not being prepared and having a shaper on this doll's head. All right. Because back here is a hot mess. But you get it's I hope. All right. Nobody's getting any ideas from this. I'm so sorry. But these two totally would be lovely together. Toss that on the floor. That was an exercise in futility, and my apologies. We learn new things all the time. And I learned that I can't wrap a dummy's head. All right. So this one and this one. All right. Now I'm thinking, but I love the way that looks. So, all right, I'm going to move on since I'm frustrating myself with my inability to wrap a mannequin. I probably could do it if she had a body, but this head won't fit on mannequin me at all. Now, the pashminas. The pashminas, again, they can be finicky. The ones that I like for beginners are Lakeshore Blisses. The Lakeshore Bliss is a pashmina but it's not heavy. It's not as awkward and unwieldy as some of the other pashminas. It's really soft and flowy. It has a bit of stretch to it, like a t-shirt. It's kind of like a t-shirt scarf. It has a bit of stretch. That can work against you if you pull too tightly. You can cinch your head and give yourself a headache. But making sure not to wrap too tightly, that's all you have to do. But they're just so flowy and crinkly. I'd say crinkly, but they gather up really well. They pleat. They do so much, but they're also really pretty when you're not having that pleating. I'm trying to explain this well. I hope this is coming across well. But the Lakeshore Bliss is definitely the go-to pashmina for beginners, or at least it should be, because it is so easy to use. It makes beautiful regals without a lot of fuss and fighting. Now, I would definitely recommend, because I did it too, my good friend Frida Hannah pointed out that I was, that we were both putting on the regal a little backwards, and made sense that our regals weren't coming out like Andrea's when we watched again. It's like, oh wait, what? I've always put on the front one first and then the back one, but in the video it's the back one and then the front one. So I highly recommend rewatching that for anyone having trouble with pashminas and the regal wrap, because that makes a difference. It's really, really makes a difference. Also like this one because we can combine it with other scarves easily, and you do not have the extra super weight of a 2-scarf pashmina. Now I know a lot of people, me included, have done crazy things with double cranberries or double pashminas. They're heavy, and we notice this. We know it. We know when we're putting it on our heads, and we're used to it. When you're wrapping for a really long time, and I guess this is some things that people don't address when we're getting all fancy schmancy with our 5-scarf wraps and all this stuff, is they weigh a ton. They do weigh a ton. And it's slowly building up the ability to wear that many scarves, knowing which scarves to actually knot, which ones to not knot. And that combination of a lot of things to wearing those multiple, I don't want to say monstrosities, but the multiple looks, multiple scarf looks. It just takes practice and building up your neck muscles. But wearing this with this beauty, it wouldn't be as heavy as, say, the cranberry with the cranberry. Okay. I have a lot of tutorials where I do wrap with, on my channel, where I do wrap with pashminas. I'm going to go back and look through and make sure that I have some beginner styles. I think I do in the Back to Basics series that I did way back in April, March, April, I believe it was. I did that, but I do have a lot of looks with pashminas there, but I'm going to check it out and make sure. Now, some of the other ones are a little bit heavier. This scarf, I don't remember what it was called. It's somewhere between the Lakeshore Bliss and a cranberry. It's not quite as heavy, but it's got good body. Now I'm showing this because there are different weights of pashminas, and so it's hard to when you're talking about pashminas and having a hard time wrapping with a pashmina, it's hard to know which weight you're talking about. This one is almost, yeah, it is. It's in between. It's in between the Lakeshore Bliss and the cranberry in the weight. It's still got that nice flow to it, nice silky. When it would be great for beginners. So something like that when you're picking out the pashminas. Now, if you're close to a Rapunzel boutique, I highly recommend visiting one of them. I do know of the one in Monsey and definitely the one in Baltimore. That's right down the street from where I live. It's great going in and actually touching the scarves. And I'm trying to think where the other one is. It's oh my gosh, and there are several of them, and I'm sorry if I'm missing yours. Silver Spring, that's another one here in the Maryland area. So we have the Baltimore boutique, we have the Silver Spring, and you have the one up in New York and Monsey, and there may be one in Florida, I'm trying to think, and another one, I'm not sure. But going in and touching the scarves and asking questions of the beautiful shop owners is a really good thing. Also, I'm trying to think, there are a few tutorials on the Rapunzel channel talking about pashminas and the wraps, and that's important too. I like those. When I started out wrapping with these kinds of scarves, I went to the Rapunzel channel and I binge watched. I totally fell into the rabbit hole of wrapping. I mean, it was hours I spent watching and watching and watching, and also doing while I was watching. And it's one of the things that I know it's hard to put out there, but practicing is important. Tichel play. I keep saying this one piece of advice for everybody who's new to wrapping, or pretty much anybody ever. Do not wait until you're getting ready to walk out the door for religious services, for the party, the wedding, the special day at work. Do not wait until that morning to wrap the brand new wrap with your brand new scarf. You will be beyond crazy. The Tichel tantrum will be epic. And you'll be late, or you'll not wear the scarf, or you'll not be pleased, or, and if you do get it into what you want it to be, you'll be so frustrated, it's not worth it. So it's like one of those things. Practice beforehand. So that's one of those really, really super important things. But the moving on to the cranberry. The cranberry is a wonderful scarf. It's a really, really lovely scarf. But it is a little bit harder to deal with than those beginners. I would call this one a intermediate beginner. I mean, it's at the end when you're just getting really, really, really comfortable with wrapping to move to this one. And I know they're so pretty. We all want to just jump right in with them, and we get frustrated because I definitely got frustrated with this scarf. This one was, I do believe this was my very first one, and I didn't post it. I didn't post the looks with it when I first got it. I just didn't do it because I was so upset with it. It takes a bit of finagling. It takes a bit of practice, a bit of love, a bit of time to master this. And the Regal is a great way to begin with this scarf because it's not so fussy. It can have messy pleats. It can be all bunched up, and it still looks good. It's still really pretty. Again, important to put the Regal on properly in order to get this. I'm not going to do the frustration with the mannequin head to put it on, but I do have some videos. I have some videos. Rapunzel has some really, really good videos. I definitely recommend watching the Pashmina videos because that will help out with this guy here. Now, in the future, I will be doing, of course, I'm going to be making some more videos, but I will be doing some more explanations and talking through how I work with the scarves. I just know sometimes I just slap the scarf on my head and it's like, here it is. But those are for the really, really fast videos where I just want to get my head wrapped and out the door or do other things. But since COVID, I've had a lot of time to sit and think while I'm making my videos and go, okay, this is what needs to be changed. So I'll be going through, I can't get every piece of information and advice in this one video because I'm already at over an hour for this video. And upload time will be forever. And having you guys watch over an hour's worth of video is intense. It's intense. So I will be trying really hard to incorporate more words, more talking about what I'm doing and why I do a certain thing and how, because that will be important. So moving forward, I'm going to do better with explanations on how I'm doing and why I'm doing. Now, the last Pashmina that I have pulled out, because my other one, because it's similar enough to the, it's really similar in texture to the tapestry, but it's not the tapestry. This is the one that was on top. It's a nice heavy duty Pashmina. And it takes a little bit more effort, and so this is like the advanced Pashmina. And the same with the tapestry. I wouldn't do it as a beginner, grab that one out and just go wrapping. But that's just me. If you do it and you make it and it's working for you, go right ahead. You do you, and then tag me so I can see it and you can tell me what you did so that I can update my skills. Because this one still gives me a little bit of this one, and the tapestry still sometimes give me like frustration. I'm going to hurry up, move past this because I can't answer all of these questions. I can't answer or address everything that I want to say in this one video. I will be on the same level as this one. I'm going to be talking about this more in the videos coming up as I wrap and do other things. Now, recommendations. I could totally amazing. Original 2-in-1s. Now, a lot of people have a hard time with them. I absolutely love the original 2-in-1s. They are very, very layerable. If you haven't seen the one that I think is it Rivka? I'm not sure of the beautiful lady who did it with the 6 of them together in this madness kind of wrap. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. To wrap 6 scarves in the same look is insane and awesome. But it could not be done comfortably, in my opinion. And it's just that my opinion. It could not be done comfortably with heavier scarves. Even the tough 2-in-1s can't layer like that. But I love the way they combine with everything. I think, did I bring one over? I did not. That sucks. But definitely the original 2-in-1s, you can pair them with every scarf you've got here. Just find a coordinating color or a color that's contrasting. Now, one of the problems I have with explaining this is I go by what my eye tells me. For some reason, I took a lot of artsy classes in high school. I am an artsy person. I just know I just know what's going to be good. So it's hard for me to explain to you why I choose certain colors to go with each other. But I do try to tell you, like, these 2 colors, Gryffindor. But the choosing colors, that, you know, that's a personal thing. Some people want to be more subdued, more modest with their coloring choices, picking blues and deeper blues, blacks, browns, creams, those kinds of colors, and not going really dramatic with the contrast, having the black and the white, or the cream and the navy, or those kinds of things. So it's hard for me to tell people how to combine colors, because that's definitely an aesthetic thing. That's definitely an individual thing. But I can definitely go back to on topic and talk about more scarves that I think are staples that you might want to look into getting to mix and match with what you have. T-shirt tickles. Oh my gosh. Yes, t-shirt tickles. I have like 6 of them. I didn't go overboard with those, because I don't think it's necessary to have one in every single color, but having them for those days that you want to be pretty, you want to do your tickle, but you don't want to be over. You don't want to be extra. Those are both beautiful. You can dress them up by adding a shimmery to them, or a sparkle or shiny-licious. Oh my goodness, excuse me for a second. So you can dress them up really fancy, or you could just wear them by themselves, and it's a quick but elegant look. Now, I do have on my channel a few t-shirt tickle styles, even one with the extra long, 1 or 2 with the extra long t-shirt tickle. I also talk more about those in the Back to Basics series. Those are awesome. Those are awesome. Definitely worth a look into, and get them in the colors that are right for you. It's not necessary, again, to get one in every single color. I said the sparkle-licious or the shiny-licious. Now, the shiny-licious is this one, and it's this one. It's lighter. It's a little bit heavier than the original 2-in-1. It's not quite as dense as the tough 2-in-1. It's somewhere in between. It has some grip to it, but it's not really textured like the tough 2-in-1. But these are super cool to have for special occasions, to dress up a rather ho-hum kind of scarf. I don't know why I say ho-hum, that's weird. But just a rather simple scarf. We'll call it a simple scarf, because I don't want to, they're all beautiful. I love scarves I love scarves. I don't want to offend any scarves, because they all have their purpose, and they're all pretty in their own right. I've got to put it that way. Here I am trying not to offend a scarf. Oh my goodness. But these are great to have. Now, also, if you don't have a lace triangle, highly, highly recommend getting a lace triangle, the Dreamy Lace, or there's another one on the Rapunzel site. I don't remember what it is. But having a lace triangle to add in to the rest of the scarves and you can mix and match the lace with anything. It makes it more elegant, gives them more like an old-fashioned kind of feel to it. I do have a few. I'm going to discuss. There's so many videos that I've seen. I've got a list on, I think I've got a notation. Someone asked me for recommendations for lace scarves. So I've got a whole list of just with a lace triangle on my phone. I'll try to put that in the description box. Let's see. But that's definitely one that I would highly recommend because that takes your wrap to the next level. It's really cool. And they're really easy to use because it's not unlike, where is it? Is it behind me? All right, it's up here. Here's one. I'm going to grab the one that's in front of me. Unlike these guys, which is, I would hold off. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're really beautiful. But I would hold off being a beginner picking these up, just because they're harder to use and they are limited in what you can do with them. Also, do we really want to be weird like me and go to the Wegmans in something you'd be going out on New Year's Eve or wearing as a wedding veil? Typically, people don't do that. I don't know sometimes what's appropriate. I just go with it. But these are hard to use. Then they're itchy. I'm not trying to talk you out. If you want one, you do you. I'm just trying to give you the downsides of the scarves, as well as you can see the beautifuln's of it and how wonderful your wrap is going to look. But I try to give the other side of it as well, because it's not very practical. If you have a really special occasion that you want to wear something super awesome like this, do it. But as an everyday kind of just building your Tichel wardrobe, it's not necessary. And you won't wear it maybe once a year, twice a year, maybe even just once, period. So it wouldn't be worth it. I hope that made sense, and I hope I wasn't being too negative about it. But that's that. But the little triangles are fantastic. They add in that bit of elegance. Pattern scarves are fun. The pattern scarves, I'm going to get up. Excuse me. I'm going to be grabbing a couple of pattern scarves. Now these are not available at the moment. This one's not available. One is available. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So these scarves are awesome to have on hand. Having one pattern scarf or two pattern scarves is great. Totally cotton, viscose, linen. That order for me is the best. Cotton, viscose, linen. Stay as far away from the georgette, the satin, unless it's got a back that's really grippy. That like a crepe back satin is fine. It's still not something you want in your everyday wardrobe, but it's harder to layer. It's harder to get it in the more complicated wraps. It's harder to get it to stay in the regular, ordinary, simple wraps that you do. Silk. There was a question on the fan group page about silk. Silk is lovely. Silk is beautiful. Silk is perfect for around the neck and clothing. Silk, when it comes to silk and headscarves and tying knots, and it's not ideal. Now, I know there are ways to wrangle it. I did it. I'm still in awe of the wrap I did with two silk scarves. I think it was only possible because I had no idea that it shouldn't work. And the one silk scarf was a dense silk, and it had a felted back. And I say felted, it was really, really soft, like a moleskin, or trying to find the proper. It had a lot of texture, like a, it's not felt, fleece. It's almost had that. It's really, really, really soft on the back. So that added that grip. It would hold the style. As long as I didn't fold that in, it would fold the style. It would hold the style better. But on the whole, they're beautiful, but they're a really big headache, and it's really discouraging for beginners when you find this gorgeous, gorgeous scarf, and it's too slippery to work with. I would stay as far away. All right, y'all, I'm wearing leggings, and I probably should have done this beforehand, but the way my mind works, and I talked about this at the beginning, sometimes I forget. So please forgive my legging-clad legs while I get up and go in the back here, because I want to talk. I could talk better about this when I show you. All right. This one and this one. All right. When I'm talking about the silk to 100%, this is a pain. I'm talking about this one. This one. I get so evilly frustrated with this guy. Oh my goodness. I think I've had most of my Tichel tantrums because of silk scarves. Now, I did get one photograph, one time with this guy where it wasn't being used as a sash. You could say, that doesn't look like the whole, as a sash. I used it as a sash and it worked. But one wrap one time where I put this thing on my head, I sat down, I took a photograph, and it came off. It was not staying. It looked cute for that moment. So being honest, very blunt, stay away from these kind of silky scarves. They do make for great accessories. There's a video flying about on the interwebs with the ladies who do the different scarf tying techniques. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. But where I think it was a bow. I think it was like a tie somehow. Anyway, but she had the two loop-de-loops going here. It is a neck fun kind of thing, or if you're being fancy schmancy with a formal dress, this works for it, but not for me. And I feel like I need to say this because I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want anybody coming at me going, well, I can do it. Why did you say that? This is all my opinion. This is all how I feel and my experiences. All of this stuff is all my experiences. Others have different experiences and different preferences. But the other one that it was so pretty and I had to absolutely positively have it was this one. And it's got the same issue. So it's the silk feely, whether it's 100% silk or not, it's silk feely. It's really fluid. It's a stay away from if you're a newbie, because talk about exercises and futility. It takes a lot to wrangle these guys into some semblance of a wrap, and then they may not stay the whole day, and it would be horrible to be out and about doing fun girly things or fun couples things, and then this thing starts falling off your head. And I don't like the idea, and I do it sometimes with wraps like these, or it's just sticking pins in them, the cotton ones, because these tend to hold the pinpricks. And I don't know why. They hold the pinpricks. You can see where you pinned them. Even with brooches, when we're putting them on, these guys hold the marks of where the brooch was. And it just doesn't, there, I'm gonna throw that down. All right, now for reals though, having a cotton pattern scarf that you can mix and match with your other scarves to get different looks. This is, I guess this could go with the Infinite Cosmos, which has the different variations, the variants of color and the speckles and stuff. But this kind of scarf is what I would totally go for. Again, this one is an older scarf. This is the picnic. What am I, Yogi Bear? This is a picnic scarf, and it's rather lovely. And this kind of, you can layer with the 2-in-1s, the tough 2-in-1s, the petal softs. Dewdrop Sparkle would go with this one, especially the navy blue one, or the wine one. I guess you could mix patterns and textures and do with the New York Brights kind of thing. The blue one probably would look really cool with this, but it's just kind of a thing to have at least one with prints. Now, it doesn't have to be this particular one. It doesn't have to have flowers. It's just, if you like more tartan variety or plaid, that totally goes too. Houndstooth, oh my goodness, that's an amazing one to have, because Cardi B, oh my gosh, I don't know if y'all saw that outfit of hers was all different. It was a big long jacket in huge houndstooth print, and that jumper underneath, oh my gosh, with the smaller houndstooth. Oh, I'm a houndstooth fanatic. Culinary school graduate here. Check those pants, those houndstooth pants, and the chef coat. It just, it's one of those things, weird things. But that's cotton. Now this one is available on the Rapunzel site. This one, the texture is really great. I don't remember what this one's made of. If it's got the tag on it, I'll tell you. I actually got to model this one and was like, oh my gosh, this was really super duper easy, super easy peasy to wrap, because it's grippy, and I don't know any other words to describe this scarf besides grippy. It's got a really great texture. When you're buying scarves, that's maybe another thing, is looking for ones that have this kind of texture, because you know it will hold on to itself. It won't be sliding all over the place. Or you can combine a more slippery or smooth surface with something that's grippy. Now this guy here, Million Dreams scarf, can totally go with any of the scarves you have in your collection. Any of them. Insane awesome to do any pretty much any wrap. You know, wraps with bows, wraps with ruffles, simple wraps. If any pattern scarf, this one, because I think it falls into line with your color aesthetic. I'm seeing black, royal blue, navy, tan. There's some purple, green, blue, teal. Totally this. And when addressing my Rapunzelista who asked me, that's what I mean by you. When I'm saying, making these blanket statements, you need this one fits your aesthetic. I don't mean to be pushy or awkward or weird. I am awkward, but this one definitely would fit your aesthetic, as far as I can see, just from your color aesthetic, from what you've told me about your collection. But I think that's that. All right, I'm almost to the bottom of my notes. So I said this one's going to be a long one, and we're an hour and a half in. So I'm wondering if I should just break this into 2 parts when I put it up. I'm not sure. I might do that if I can. I have to figure out how to do that. So, with my editing technology. Okay, now, elegant, simplest scarf. Okay, now also look into headbands. Now, I've got on hand, this one was one that came as the free accessory on Black Friday, this kind of headband. Now, I think I have in the bottom drawer, because this will give you that multi-scarf look, and you could totally see the wrap I did for the Million Dreams scarf on the Rapunzel website with the headbands. Because that will give you an option that is a little more, oh my goodness, UV friendly, but it looks like, hey, where are you? All right, one. Okay, my daughter didn't take them. Here they are. So here they are. We'll give you the look of a nice crisscross mini scarf wrap without actually doing that. Now, the purple and the red are just what I used in the, it's what the lovely ladies at Rapunzel provided for me to use while I was modeling. But definitely could go with an orange and a green, or a blue. You could do teal. There's so many different options in this for use in this scarf. So, but these did look really good with it. As you can see, they looked pretty good. So some headbands, making sure when you're purchasing headbands that you're purchasing adult size ladies, or adult size, not little girls or little children's headbands. I've done that, and it's awkward because in the description they don't always say. My daughter has them. My daughter has a much smaller head than I do, but they don't say. Sometimes they don't specify the width. This is a good width. I think this is about 3 inches, maybe. Yeah, this is about 3 inches. So the ones I picked up were 1.5 inches, and they were like this big, and they were this big for little kids. So be careful of ordering when you're ordering the headbands. Order the big girl ones, not the little, I say big girl ones, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but I need to change some of my wordings. But order the ones for adults and not the ones for children. That's better. All right. Also, when it comes to texture, these are good. These are decent texture. They're soft and they stretch a goodly amount. But I also like these cottony ones. These work really well. And they have this little piece in the back that when you put it on, these have no change at all, and it can get, if you're putting on multiple headbands, it can get a little bit congested back here unless you have on a shaper and you're laying them back. It's coming out this direction and you're laying them out along the volume. I hope that made sense. Otherwise it can get a little bit scrunchy back there and like having too many knots at the nape of your neck, and it can become uncomfortable. So that's where this little draw in comes in handy. Now this can also be used as a decoration for the front, like so, like this. But definitely be careful when it comes to ordering headbands. I've not ordered a headband, with the exception of the sequin one from Rapunzel that was a cloth headband. That was too small, too awkward, too not working for the head wrapping. They do a really good job curating headbands for this. I've ordered off the Amazon, and that's where I didn't read specifically what they were. They look thicker in the picture than they actually are. Or the fabric they were made of was really cheap and chintzy. Now I'm trying to think who else, if any of the other reputable, and Amazon is fantastic. Please don't come at me. Amazon, I order all the time. Please don't come at me for that. I order from Amazon too. But having somebody that you can, hey, you know, this isn't exactly what I thought it was. It's the quality isn't good. You can, you know, it's nice to have a company where you can, you know, the people you're talking to, and you know that they're doing their best to bring you the best product possible, and they can answer any questions that you have. And I know, I do like that. I do like that aspect of Rapunzel. So I'm talking a whole lot, and I'm sorry. But I'm not. I'm not sorry that I'm telling you this kinds of things, because it's important to remember on certain products that, yes, you might be able to find it on such and such a website, but it may not, you know, it may not be exactly what you're looking for, and then you're stuck with it, like I was with the little kid headbands. All right, but those headbands are really good. Now I've gotten way off into left field somewhere. Those kinds are great. I'm trying to look. There's one my daughter gave me this one. It's also a kind of a fun headband option. It's kind of entertaining for adding texture and stuff to your wrap without actually having to add another scarf. So I'm hoping I answered a lot of these questions. I will do a better job when I'm wrapping, when I'm coming up with the combinations, of really thinking why I am doing it, and it's telling you while I'm filming why a particular combination of scarves. Okay, so I need to go get some more tea for my now sore throat, and see what my little kitty cat is doing, because him's quiet. Yeah, so I'm a little scared. He ran before I had to stop filming and restart, because him's got a hold of my medication bottle and was batting around hiding it. I am so sorry. All right, now I've talked for an hour and 37 minutes straight, more than I've talked in a very long time. So I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that I've answered some of your questions. I hope that I didn't just waste anybody's time. All right. Well, I hope you ladies have, and I say this, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next tutorial.